Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about some of the important concepts of what we're going to talk further down the line. Now, to remember that this is going to be part of our three pod creation in terms of three YAML file configuration. So we have whatever we have seen right now. We have used the command line utility from the kube control to create all your pods, but we're going to use YAML over here. So we're going to use this kind of architecture while we go forward. So this three YAML file is going to be for creating three simple pods. And then later point of time, I may be adding some complications towards the pod creation later point of time, but then don't worry about it right now. So each video we're going to see next is going to be about three different pod creations. And these three different pod creations is going to be unique in its own way. For example, the first worker pod on the worker one is going to be what you can see over here. As you know that we have a worker one on our 201 server where we are going to create this pod over in the server. Now do remember that the pod creation, when I issue the command, could be random. So it may create the pod on the worker one, or it could create the pod on the worker two. This is dynamically managed by Kubernetes internal services, where it sees that the scheduler sees what resources are free. So it's going to schedule that in that particular server. So this is basically what we are going to look in towards, how the pods are going to be aligned to the system resources, and which worker node is going to get that pod created. So that pod is going to be very simple, where we're going to host a HTTP pod over here, and this HTTP pod will be listening on port number 80 with its own IP address. In the next pod creation, we're going to create a pod which has two containers inside it. So logically speaking, I would want one container to be hosting an HTTP service, another container to be hosting a Tomcat service or any other service for that matter. So that you can see and access these containers separately, and also you can also see that the functionality of these two containers are completely different, but they will work as a single IP address. Like I have configured both Tomcat and a HTTP server on a single machine. So it will look and give you that feel that it is configured and running on a same system, but then it is actually running on two different containers. So we will see that as well. And then we will create another pod over here as a third pod. So that again can be created either on worker one or worker two, depends on how busy the particular system is. So it's going to determine that, and it's going to create the container on any of the system. Now to remember that when you create this container, it's going to be a CentOS machine, or it could be a normal Linux operating system, wherein which I'll be actually accessing all these three different applications, and I'll be getting the feedback from these applications while I access it from a different pod. So this is a pod-to-pod communication, pod to your host communication. Host meaning that this worker one, worker two, a manager. And we are not going to talk at this moment, but in the later point of time on the same section, we will be talking about how we can make this laptop browsable, how we can make your laptop browsing these applications which is hosted in here. So that also we will be looking at later point of time. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.